So today I'm going to show you the exact way that I onboard my video editing and my video strategy clients. So having an onboarding process for me is very important because it keeps everything like our files and information, it keeps everything all in one place. So we're not losing things through email and, having to go back months and months in our email boxes trying to find things. So right after you go through the process of, booking a call, we have our discovery call, and then we decide we're a good fit for each other. The next steps would be that I will send over a contract and an invoice. Now I usually send my contracts through HelloSign, and HelloSign, it's a website where I can send contracts and you can sign it digitally. And then I send my invoices through QuickBooks. And then once you send that information back to me, you will then be sent a link to your client portal. And this is where all of the information will live. So here is my client video portal. This is basically where I host all of my other things in my business at. So it was only right for me to put my client portal in here as well. So as you can see here, the first thing that you see is the to-do list. So there's signed contract and pay invoice. Once that's done, we can just check that off. And then the next thing that you're going to want to do is create a designated content folder that we're going to put all your videos in. And then the next thing that you're going to do is fill out the About section. So here is our Resources tab and the Ideas tab. So basically the Resources tab, this has my contact information and also your contact information that's at the top of the list. And then also what I like to put here is, based on our conversation from our sales call, if you say, you have trouble getting comfortable in video, or, basically any of the problems that I may be able to help you with, if I see any resources, I'll just basically put them in here and then let you know that I added it to that list. And also, if there's not anything in the About section that I may not have went over, you can also put that in this area to let me know more about your business. So right here is the Ideas tab. This is more for like when we start working together. So, usually when I work with clients, they have like a set amount of calls that they can have with me a month. And you know how when you're talking to your client, or when you're talking to a freelancer that you're working with and you're on the phone and you guys are just spilling out all these ideas. So I actually like to put that in the board. We don't have to get back to it at that very moment, but it's just nice to have it there for the future. Because I know personally that when I'm on these calls, we're all excited talking about new ideas. And then sometimes after we get off the call, we're like, we completely forget it. So that's why the Ideas tab is right there. And then this is the next section. This is the About section. Now, this is what you're going to be filling out when you first come in. You fill it out one time. That's it. We don't have to go back in there anymore. So if you're giving me access to any of your accounts, that's where you'll put all the information right here. Your brand board, or basically your brand colors. If you have one of those, you put that right here so I can refer back to this information when I need it. We also put your social media goals in here. The next thing is KPIs. So basically that's me asking you, okay, what would make the video campaign successful? Like what type of outcomes would you want that we can actually measure? Is it going to be more clients? Is it going to be lead magnet downloads? Like what's going to make us working together successful? And this sort of gives us like a goal to reach. So if we're not meeting those goals, it's like, okay, what can we do to make sure we're hitting these goals and making sure, what we're doing is actually working? And the next thing is like the business background information. So right here, you could put the link to your website, or, you can write up like a little blurb about who you are and like what you do, put your bio there. It's just some extra information that's nice to have on hand. And then down here we have all the products and services. So again, you can put your website page here with all your products and services, or you can have a Google Doc right there. And this is basically so I can know exactly what you offer and what you do. And this will help with the video content creation part. And then over here we have our timeline for the video. So in this area, it's to title, we have to record, and then we have an edit. And that's basically the process that the video is going through. I'm like, okay, we have to script this video. So for example, I'm just going to say how to edit, right? So now how to edit is, in titling and scripting. So we have to script the video and then we have to give it a good title. Once that is done, It is now over to the record section. So that means it's up to the client to record the videos and then send it back. And then right here, the next section is it's netted. Now in the edit section, I actually have like another video about this, about how I go about not having to go through like endless video revisions. But once it's in edit, you know, I go through the rough draft first, and then I send it back through Frame.io and I ask you, is there like any things that need to be updated? And you write your comments and then send it back. And yeah, so each separate video will have its own little card to move over. And then after that, it is in scheduled. And then once it's published, we will move it over to publish. So yeah, that is my onboarding process and what it looks like to be inside the client portal. Now, of course, depending on what exactly we're doing, things can be removed, things can be added, but I just like the idea of having everything in one place so we don't have to be scrambling around in our emails. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, you can book a call in the link in the description box, or you can comment it down below.